This is a review of the Grinch Christmas Adventures, available now on PC, Xbox One, Series S, X, PlayStation 4 and 5, and Nintendo Switch. The version I'm playing is the Nintendo Switch version of the game. The story is basically a retelling of the 1957 classic by Dr. Seuss titled How the Grinch Stole Christmas. So if you're familiar with the book, you'll be familiar with what's presented here. There are scenes where pages of the book are displayed and text scrolls on the screen with a narrator reading the text to you. The narrator does a great job of appropriately conveying the tone of the book throughout these scenes.
It could be his head wasn't screwed on just right. It could be, perhaps, that his shoes were too tight. But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small.
While playing in single player, you will be controlling the Grinch, but can also switch to your dog Max at the press of a button. There is a local co-op option where player 2 will control Max if you're looking to share the experience with a friend or family member. This is a platformer where you'll find yourself running and jumping through a total of 18 levels across 3 different areas. There are also some stealth sections in the game and some snowboarding sections, as well as a special final level, which I won't spoil for you here. So while there is some variety other than the 2D platforming, which is the bulk of the game, I did find the stealth sections to be a bit too frequent. During the platforming sections, you'll find yourself running, jumping, Goomba stomping enemies, and lasso swinging your way through, all while collecting the many presents and puzzle pieces that are placed throughout each stage. There are 2 types of collectibles in each stage. There are presents and puzzle pieces. The presents don't seem to serve much of a purpose other than contributing to getting 100% on each level. The puzzle pieces, however, are a bit more important as they are required to unlock the various new tools and abilities the Grinch will have at his disposal throughout the adventure. Things like a double jump, grappling lasso, health upgrades are just a few of the things you'll acquire. There are quite a bit of secrets and hidden areas to uncover in order to collect both of these items. After collecting the required amount of puzzle pieces, you will then solve a very simple jigsaw puzzle to acquire your upgrade. It doesn't tell you what the upgrades do till after you finish the jigsaw puzzle, and since there are times where you have to choose between a few upgrades, it would have been nice to know what they do before you commit to acquiring one. The only issue I had with the gadgets you unlock is with the detection on the candy cane lasso. A few times it just didn't want to connect, resulting in me falling into a pit. The stealth sections take place inside houses where you'll sneak throughout the house, stealing presents and trying to escape without getting caught. Being seen does not mean failure. The cookies or who's that chase you will try to hug you, which removes one segment of your life. You can hide in dressers, beds, and under tables to reduce your stealth meter that is displayed at the top of the screen. You can also switch to Max to explore areas the Grinch is too tall to access. I had an issue one time where the enemies had me pinned into a corner using pieces of loose furniture. I was stuck here for a few minutes until I finally switched to Max and was able to use him to push the furniture away and wiggle the Grinch free. There is an okay amount of enemy variety throughout the game, but honestly, it felt a little lacking since some enemies have exactly the same movesets. They just carry a different appearance throughout the 3 different areas. There are no boss battles in the game, and the game is certainly on the easier side, so if you're the type of gamer that needs to be challenged and find easy games to be boring, then this will not be the game for you. You have infinite lives and checkpoints are plentiful. If you find yourself falling into a spike pit or lose a life another way, then very minimal progress will be lost. There is some replayability as some levels have branching paths or secrets you are unlikely to find on your first playthrough. If you are only looking to beat the game and don't care about getting a full completion, then one play of each level should suffice just fine, as long as you make sure to collect as many puzzle pieces as you can, since a certain amount of them are required to progress later in the game. The game does a great job of capturing the look and feel of the Grinch. It has some very nice visuals that were inspired by imagery from the book. It runs really smooth on Switch, although I did have a few instances of frame rate drops in the second area of the game. I think the most likely cause of these drops were the waterfall effects in the background, as well as the snowing effects in the foreground. But other than a few instances of frame rate drops, I did not experience any crashes or bugs that negatively impacted my gaming experience. So in conclusion, would I recommend playing the Grinch Christmas Adventures? Well, that depends. Are you a fan of more casual platformers? Are you a fan of the source material? If the answer to these questions is yes, then absolutely, pick it up. It's pretty fun for what it is, especially if you are looking for a Christmas-themed game to play around the holidays. But just be aware that it doesn't do anything overly spectacular or fresh. It uses ideas from games that have come before it, and in a sea of crappy licensed games, this is one that turned out surprisingly good. You are likely to get around 3 or 4 hours of gameplay out of it, unless you are looking for 100% completion, which should squeeze a few more hours out of you. So with it being on the shorter side, the $40 MSRP seems a bit steep, so I don't think I would recommend it at that price point, so keep your eyes open for a sale. Thank you for watching this review all the way to the end. If you enjoyed it, please like the video, comment below if you have any questions, and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and hopefully I'll see you on my next video. Have a good one.